Trouble keeping up with the Joneses? It's the coach. And this is the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Aaron Jones, no picnic a week ago. He's looking for another big game, as it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Green Bay Packers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, this is such a special place. You drive through the streets of Green Bay, no tall buildings, quaint houses, and then boom, right there in the middle of the neighborhood is iconic Lambeau Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, set the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in.
Crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. 62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field.
230. Mike 58 right there. Defense wins championship, baby.
First carry for James Conner. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there and a 1st down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Play fake to Conner. Now Roethlisberger. And he connects with Vance McDonald. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on there heals a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Roethlisberger to throw. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
That'll be taken in there by James Washington. The Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Set. 180. 50 to mine. I got him.
From the red zone now, here's Roethlisberger on first down. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Ryan Switzer, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Roethlisberger. He finds his man Johnson. The passing game in rhythm right now for Pittsburgh. There's another first down. Well, he did everything but get him in the end zone there, but now they're set up. Golden opportunity, strong opening drive, and they're knocking on the door.
And the way that they did it, now look where they are on the field. All right, this is naturally set up.
And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Ryan Switzer, his first touchdown of the new season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his... And he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Roethlisberger's pass complete to Ryan Switzer. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Extra point put through by Boswell, and it's now a 7-0 game. A 10-play drive that time, and it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
T.J. Watt in on the tackle. Now a look at the defensive starters here for the Steelers. Well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
Even better than that, they pitched a shutout in that game, and I'm telling you, that is a confidence builder and a trust builder on both sides. And what I mean by that is coaching staff putting together a game plan, players executing it. Now both of them are in sync.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. Pass hauled in by the 6'4" tight end Sternberger. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether it's seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
On second down, Connor looking for space. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be third and about the length of the football.
That's the end of the first quarter.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. It's a first down following a gain of 3.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On 1st and 10 is Connor. Jair Alexander up to make the tackle. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
At the 37-yard line.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Roethlisberger. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. Here's Roethlisberger. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Come get some. Come get some. Come on here. Come get some. He don't want it.
On 2nd down, it's Snell. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. It'll be a gain of 17 at a Pittsburgh first.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Let's go, Heavy. Let me what you got. What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me something.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. James Washington was the intended target. And now it's 2nd down.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try to defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Roethlisberger. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Certainly there are good things about quick strike offenses that score fast, but a long drive can also work to your advantage as well.
In so many ways, Brandon, because number one, you get them tired, but the big one is mentally. They can't figure out how to slow you down, how to get off the field, how to get the ball back. They go to the bench wondering, what are we going to do next time in order to stop those guys?
And this is no good. Missed the PAT, so they fail to connect, and this remains a 13-0 game. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
From the 29, Rodgers got his man complete over the middle. That's Morgan. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3. Throwing on 2nd and 3, Rodgers. And his throw here's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. A big gain of 28 as the drive continues. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Making the catch is Sternberger. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. Now a play fake here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. T.J. Watt in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. But following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. 3rd and 15 here after the 1st and 2nd down plays went in the wrong direction. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, got at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. The early returns for him, very good to start this season. Interesting to see if he can keep up that torrid pace.
Yeah, when you're talking about averaging 100 yards a game as a receiver, extrapolate that over 16 games, and you're having a monster season. So, yeah, you love what he's doing early, but I think it's got to go back to the offseason, doesn't it? It's got to go back to the roots, spending time with the guy who's going to throw the ball to him, spending time watching tape, spending time reading defenses, and, of course, getting himself ready to play.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On second down, Snell. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
Like 80! 58, come on! Hey, that QB's trapped.
On first down, it's Roethlisberger. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. If you playing the back 7 on defense.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is, now look out, Rodgers lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Time to give you folks at home a look around the NFL on this first official weekend of fall. So let's get to it. We'll begin our tour up at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. And that's been a back-and-forth game, all tied in the second quarter. From there, let's head over to New Era Field to see what's happening with the Bills. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting Jaguars. The Bills seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore. Check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Mark Ingram, 2 touchdown runs to lead the way. In the game you've been watching, it was Ben Roethlisberger who led the way offensively in the first half. His guys lead it by 10 as we send it back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. Gentlemen.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now Roethlisberger. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
Here we go.
Roethlisberger now 11 of 16 through the air. It's 1st and 10. Roethlisberger will hand a counter. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 43.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
And he's going to be down at the 35, gain of 7.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively.
180.
They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave them with some options here on 4th and inches. And what they're challenging here is the spot of the ball, and this is probably the hardest challenge to win.
So difficult because the speed of the game, the angles of the cameras, your angle from the sideline watching the play can often fool you into thinking that the ball should be placed in a different spot.
James Conner on the carry. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Connor on first down, not going to get a whole lot. Maybe a couple. 2nd down coming up. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 22, Roethlisberger. Open man is Switzer, complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Roethlisberger now rebounding nicely after the interception. He's hit 4 straight to start the drive. It's first down. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. They were looking for Johnson that time. That'll bring up 2nd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Juju Smith-Schuster with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what. Well, it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Boswell good with the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, we focus on him for our Players Spotlight. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
But these guys got to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage will be found.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And down he'll go at the 25.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Morgan. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. To throw here, Roethlisberger. And he fires one incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Now it's Roethlisberger. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Rodgers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt, he's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. With the score, Steelers 20, Packers 3.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Let's go, D, let's go.
Now Rodgers throwing on 3rd and long. And that will be incomplete.
Intended for Jace Sternberger. Incomplete.
Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Roethlisberger. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Past the 20, and they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell, just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. From the 25 on 2nd down, Roethlisberger. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Here's Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Trying to get it with Snell. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and minicamps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, he's been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
On 2nd down now, it's Connor. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
He gets us away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. Out of bounds and close. The question, was it a touchback? No. They'll say it crossed out at the 2-yard line. Excellent placement, and off that bounce, Charles, I didn't know where it was going to go. It can be an inexact science as to where they place it, but they say the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know how they really determined that. And let's face it, at the end of that play, one side's going to be happy, the other team's going to be unhappy. So what do they do, shorten the hypotenuse? I mean, how do they figure that out? You know that stuff. You're the smart guy.
No, that's you, partner. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
You got it.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. They'll go again to Jones. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And they'll get him down short of the 1st down, right on the 10-yard line. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down. Well, look at the clock. You're down 2 scores. Have to go for this, don't you?
And they thought that as soon as they took over possession. Where they were on the field, they were always going to be in 4-down territory. Backed up, in good situation, it didn't matter. So they've been preparing for that on their play sheet the entire time.
And they're going to get the 1st down here across the 15-yard line. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Devin Bush in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his running back, Aaron Jones, that time. And it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Throwing is Rodgers. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Rodgers going to go on 4th down. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and an utter disaster as the ball's going to go over on downs at the 2-yard line. So this one fairly well in the bag as they take over with a 1st and goal. Roethlisberger to throw. Got his man, it's caught for a Steelers touchdown. Ryan Switzer, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Now it's looking incredibly likely to be a 3-0 start to this season. That is obviously excellent. 2-0 is one thing. 3-0, you really have some momentum.
And now they're serving notice to the rest of the league that they're a pretty darn good football team. Confident, aggressive, attacking at all times. This looks like a team that you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? Behind closed doors, they're trying to figure out ways to get better.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Now a draw play. This is Jones. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Rodgers going to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Steelers are close to finishing off this football game. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Blue 30. 50, Mike 50, huh? Rip right.
On first down, Connor. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set him up.
And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Vance McDonald, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head. But
that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the second extra point he's missed so far. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on. Get it done. And maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Throwing now is Rodgers. Pass hauled in by the 6'4" tight end Sternberger. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And never an easy thing to do, no matter how good Green Bay is, what the year is, to come into Lambeau and get the victory, but they did it.
You're not just battling the team that you're playing that day. You're not just battling the crowd that's in attendance in that game. You're battling the history of the franchise. You're battling the ghosts that swirl around that place that help spur them on to victory. It is an unbelievable atmosphere. The most historic place in the league, and you have to make sure you stay focused on your task. Otherwise, you can get easily distracted.
Yeah, hats off to them for keeping that laser focus and getting the victory. So for Pittsburgh, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, they suffered defeat for the first time as they dropped to 2-1. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.